The beggar accidentally found a millionaire's purse, but no one still can't believe what happened when they met. It was a glorious evening on a Saturday. There were light clouds in the sky and an unusual rush on the road today, because people had come out in large numbers to enjoy the weekend. Spalding was traveling in the car with his daughter Daisy. Shortly after they reached the shopping centers, Spalding stopped his car in the parking area. He had brought Daisy here for shopping. Spalding took out his mobile phone to check the time. It was now 7 o'clock in the evening. The sun had set, but there was a sense of celebration in these shopping halls. Many couples were passing by holding each other's hands and smiling. Spalding entered a wonderful shop. He had to buy new shoes for Daisy. After trying many shoes, she finally liked a modern type of shoe. The shopkeeper immediately packed it. Spalding was now about to proceed with the immediate payment, but was suddenly shocked when he reached into his pants pocket for his wallet. His wallet was missing. Daisy noticed the worried expression on his father's face. "What's up, Dad?" Daisy asked, a little worried. "My wallet is lost," replied Spalding, putting his hands in all his pockets. He looked quite upset. "Oh," said Daisy, glancing admiringly at the shoes. "I think it has dropped somewhere," Spalding expressed his opinion. "You should go back to search the wallet, please. You can take the shoes and give the money later," the shopkeeper said, feeling the anxiety of both of them. "No, we don't take the shoes now. We will be back soon," said Spalding, looking at her daughter Daisy. Then he put the new shoes back on and hurried out of the store in search of the wallet. Spalding had many concerns in mind. He had a lot of money in his wallet that even a middle-class man could live lavishly. Spalding was a millionaire man. He was 38 years old. His father was a great businessman. After the death of his father, he expanded his business further. He was definitely one of the richest people in his city. He had married a lovely girl. He had only one daughter, whom he brought up with great care. He often used to come to take his daughter shopping. But today a strange incident happened in his life. Now Spalding was going to his car. His eyes were on the ground. Due to the immense rush in the market, he was sure that someone would have taken his wallet, and it was futile for him to hope to get it back. But Daisy was a little hopeful that they would find it again. Spalding began to search again at Daisy's insistence. He reached his car in a few minutes, but he did not find the wallet anywhere. He also searched inside the car, but did not find any trace of the wallet. He believed that the person who found his wallet would be very lucky because instead of robbing a bank, that person would have found a lot of money on the way. Once again, he went to the same shop in search of a wallet. They both searched for a long time, but everything went in vain. Despite searching for another half an hour, they could not find success. Then Spalding became very disappointed. He got back in his car. He had just started the car when suddenly there was a knock on the window of his car. He lowered the window with a bit of surprise, and there was an ordinary man in simple clothes standing there. Spalding was quite surprised that he had never come into contact with the lower class. Suddenly Spalding saw his wallet in the man's hand. Spalding looked at him carefully. He was a typical street hobo. "This wallet was lying by your car, sir," said the man, telling the truth. Spalding was quite surprised. He opened the car door and got out quickly. He could not believe his eyes when he saw wealth in front of him. "Where did you get it?" Spalding asked in surprise. "My name is Roger. It was over there by the car," he said, handing it to Welt Spalding. "Oh yes, it probably did," said Spalding, expressing his opinion. He remembers that when he got out of the car, he took out his mobile phone to check the time. Maybe his wallet dropped at that time. "I found out from the shop where you went to buy shoes. I'm sorry I'm late, sir," continued Roger. "Oh, never mind. You could have kept it if you wanted." "Why did you do that?" Spalding asked. Meanwhile, his daughter Daisy also got out of the car and came to him. She was listening to them with full attention. She, like Spalding, was very surprised at Roger's honesty. "Sir, I was passing by and suddenly I saw your wallet." I went to buy something, but the money was too much. I didn't dare to use it, Roger said innocently. The truth was clearly visible in his eyes. Okay, you sit in the car and do the rest. Spalding opened the front door of the car and he sat on the front seat while Daisy sat in the back seat. You deserve a great reward. Tell me what you want, asked Spalding, looking at Roger with a solemn look. There was a strange confusion on Roger's face. Spalding looked at him in surprise. Tell me, Roger, if you wanted, your life would have been covered with such a large amount of money. But you acted honestly. Now tell me what you want, Spalding asked again, seeing him lost in thought and encouraging him. I don't want anything, Roger simply replied, looking lost in thought. Spalding was looking at him with astonishment. He was a businessman. He was not related to the lower class people, but what he was seeing today, he could not believe at all that a lower class man could work so honestly. Look, Roger, keep all this money if you want, or half money if you want, Spalding offered him. He was sure that Roger would make a decision now. Just give me enough money to buy a cake and 6 candles tonight, replied Roger shakily. Spalding felt as if he were dreaming. He couldn't believe it. He insisted a lot, but Roger did not agree. Finally, Spalding gave up. He drove the car forward and was going towards a big superstore. His daughter Daisy was also watching this whole incident with keen interest. But why do you want to buy cake and candles? Asked Spalding. Because Roger looked like a low-class man. He could not understand the relation between cake, candles, and Roger. Yes, today is my girlfriend's birthday. We used to celebrate together, but every year after I separated from her, I celebrated her birthday alone. Today, I didn't have money to buy a cake and candles, replied Roger, looking helpless. There was no expression on his face. Would you like to tell me something about your past? Spalding asked with interest. Now the night was quite dark, but what was happening was too incredible for Spalding. I actually belonged to a low family. I fell in love with a girl. Because I had no wealth, the world took that girl away from me. After that, I was no longer interested in money. Roger began to speak. He glanced at Splendid, who was listening to him intently. I was once completely broken. Today, I do not care. I was helpless in those days. I could only feel my sadness. The last few years of my life were spent in severe depression. I was enduring every difficult time of life with the last understanding. I thought I'd probably get away with it someday. Spalding looked at Roger. There were tears in his eyes. Spalding wanted to know about his past. He was a man who turned down the wealth of billions because he had lost everything in the love of a girl. I still remember that wonderful time of my life with my girlfriend Natalia. At that time, I had many sweet dreams. Natalia was a very good girl. We used to dream of living together. She did not deceive me. But this world is so cruel. In this world, our feelings are trampled. They are all priests of wealth. Roger was lost in his past. His hands were shaking. His disheveled hair and red eyes were showing his mental inadequacy. Even in such a cold, sweat was on Roger K's face. Daisy was sitting as still as a stone listening to all this. People used to make fun of me. After failing in my love, I faced humiliation, ridicule, and defeat everywhere. I did not want to go into human beings. He was almost crying. Today, 6 years have passed since I separated from her. Just please give me enough money to buy a cake and 6 candles, and then I'll never see you again, said Roger, folding his hands in front of him. Spalding took his hands in his. Roger was crying. Spalding no longer wanted to make him cry by reminding him of the past. For the first time in his life, Spalding saw a person helpless despite having such a large amount of money. He stopped the car and dropped all the money on the seat in front of Roger. Roger picked up a small amount of money. Thank you, Spalding. I will never take your kindness off, he simply said and disappeared into the darkness. Spalding was still in shock. He could not even imagine that a human can love someone so much. There was a chill in the air. The night had become deep. Spalding drove the car forward. Love is also torture, he thought. This is the end of this wonderful story. Share your thoughts in comments below. See you soon.